Hi guys, welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm making pressure cooker mini meatballs with Radiatori pasta. Okay guys, I'm starting out here in a large bowl and I have roughly about 2 pounds of hamburger, and this isn't lean, this is like 73.27, but not to worry, we're going to fry our meatballs first before we cook them, so I'll get some of that grease out of there. I'm going to start out by cracking an egg in here, and this here is going to help to bind our meatballs together. Let me get rid of the shell. I'm going to put my seasonings in. I'm going to go for about a teaspoon of everything, maybe a little less. Some Italian seasoning, some oregano, and this is a brand new container, guys. I grabbed the wrong one, so we'll just use this one just to make the top off of it. Okay, now I'll add in my oregano. Some onion powder, and I'm just going to sprinkle that in. Some celery seed. I'm going to go for about a half a teaspoon of that, because a little bit goes a long way with celery seed. Some garlic salt, and I'm going to go for about a half a teaspoon of that, because we don't want these too salty. Some black pepper, about a half a teaspoon of that. And then my breadcrumb. Now these are Italian seasoned breadcrumb. I'm going to put about a quarter of a cup in for now. And I'm just going to go in there with one hand so I can keep one hand clean, because when you don't have a helper around, you don't want to get your hands all yucky, because you're going to have to put more breadcrumb in. So I'm just going to get in here and mix this together. Let's put a little more in. That's looking good for the breadcrumbs. Now I'm going to go in with 2 hands because I don't need to put any more breadcrumb in. Now I'm going to show you real quick about what size meatball I'm going to make. And then we'll get the pressure cooker here warmed up and we'll start frying meatballs. But I'm going to make them roughly about this size. Not the size of a jawbreaker, so... Alright guys, let me get some meatballs rolled up here and get the pressure cooker warmed up, and then I'll bring it back. Alright, now that my meatballs are all done and my pressure cooker's heating up, and I'm using my Elect Home pressure cooker that I did a review on last week. And guys, I left the pot dirty overnight. I didn't even soak it, and it cleaned up like a dream because this non-stick coating really made it a cinch to clean. So now that this is warmed up, I'm going to get my meatballs in here and start to brown them. And if you guys didn't check out my product review video on this pressure cooker, just look for product review on the Elect Home pressure cooker and you'll see it, guys. But I'm going to get my meatballs in here and brown them up, and then there'll be some grease that comes off of here. We'll see how much there is and we'll deal with that when the time comes. So when I have my meatballs all browned up, I'll bring it back. Okay guys, now that my meatballs are all brown, and I did it in 2 batches and it only took a few minutes, I'm going to pull all of these out, drain some of that grease off of there, and then we're going to move on to the next step. Okay, now that I took my meatballs out and I drained most of the grease out, I left a little tiny bit in there. I have 1 onion and 1 yellow bell pepper I diced up. I'm going to get them in there and saute them for a few minutes so they start to turn translucent. And this pressure cooker here doesn't have a saute setting. I just simply set it on the meat setting. Any setting will do, just to heat up the pressure cooker, and you can saute it that way. And with the meatballs, if you don't want to go through the trouble of browning them, you can use lean hamburger, but you're going to pay more. And browning them not only renders that extra grease out of them, the fat, but it adds an element of flavor by browning them. Or you can just buy frozen meatballs and just totally skip the whole process. So when my vegetables are sauteed and translucent, I'll bring it back. Okay, now that my onion and my yellow bell pepper are starting to get translucent and soften up, I'm going to add in a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. I'm also going to add in 2 14.5-ounce cans of Italian seasoned diced tomatoes. These have basil, garlic, and oregano. We're adding juice and all in there, guys. Alright, now that crushed tomato can, I'm going to fill that with water and add that in there. And you're probably saying, well, that's a lot of liquid in there, but trust me, pressure cooker pasta loves liquid. It will drink this up like a camel in a desert. I'm going to add some seasoning to the sauce. I'm going to go for a teaspoon of oregano, because if you remember, we seasoned the meatballs, but we did not season the sauce. A teaspoon of Italian seasoning. And I'm just eyeballing this, and a lot of people give me negative comments for eyeballing it, but when you've been cooking as long as I have, you get it pretty close. Alright, I'm going to put about a half teaspoon of garlic powder in, because this stuff here, or garlic salt, this stuff can be pretty salty. About a half teaspoon of onion powder. And a little bit of celery seed. Now if you don't like celery seed, you could substitute that with fresh celery. You would just saute that in with your vegetables when I sauteed them. About a half teaspoon of that. Okay, let me give that a quick stir. Let's get everybody mixed up there good. Okay, now I'm going to add in my pasta. I have a 1 pound box of Radiatori pasta. It's the dry stuff. Get that down in there. Get it all mixed up. And I'm going to go ahead and throw my meatballs right on top. And my meatballs aren't cooked through. They're still raw in the middle. But they will cook as this pressure cooks. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my lid on there. Make sure we're set on airtight. Okay guys, I canceled the last setting. I'm going to push my meat and poultry button, which is 20 minutes. That's too long. We're going to set this to pressure cook for 10 minutes. So we're going to take this back around to 10 minutes. And what this will do is this will come up to pressure. We'll let it pressure cook for 10 minutes, and then when it's done, we'll do a quick release on the pressure. Alright guys, this is done. I did that quick release like I said I was going to, and you're probably saying there's still a lot of liquid left in there, but when I get in here and I stir this around, this pasta is just going to drink up that sauce. This is ready to go, guys. Let's go ahead and fix up a plate and see what we got. Okay guys, I'm going to finish this up by topping with some fresh grated Parmigiano cheese. Okay, let me get in there and give this a taste. I'm going to start with the pasta. The pasta really took on the seasoning from the sauce. Now it's not al dente. I like my pasta tender. If you want your pasta al dente, I do about 8 minutes. It's really good taste, you know. I'll try a meatball. And as you can see, my meatballs are cooked through. They're really good, well seasoned. Okay, there you have it. Pressure cooker mini meatballs with Radiatori pasta. Give it a try. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see ya.